Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my makeshift bookshelf. There is another one in the bedroom, plus there's some books on everywhere. But this is where the majority of my books are kept. And today I decided that we're going to do a little book unhaul. I've never done this before. And also I have a really hard time letting go of books, even if I didn't like them, even if I'll never read them again. Like, I just like to have lots of books on my bookshelf. As you can see, it's even starting to pile up on the bottom there. I need to make room for more. And also, there are probably people who do like some of the books that I don't like, and some people who would like the books that I don't like. So I feel like I need to give them up. I need to give them a new home. So we're gonna declutter my bookshelf. And I don't know why I'm like actually so nervous, because I don't want to make the wrong decision. Books are expensive, and I bought all of these books. So giving them up, even if I resell them, just feels like a gamble, because what if in 6 months from now I'm like, where's that book? I want to reread that book. I want to reference that book, and I don't have that book. So that's just me overthinking. So we're going to make a pile of books that I'm going to get rid of, and then I'll probably sit on that for a couple months to see if I actually am going to get rid of them. Let's get into it. I have so many books that I love here. Twilight series, Funny Story, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This will be where all the Emily Henry books go once I read the rest. I think I'm trying to be strict. I don't want to just keep books to fill space. I didn't love Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. It was a cute little romance about a portrait artist who gets face blindness. It was cute. It just didn't do it for me. Like, it wasn't super exciting, or like I didn't walk away like, oh, I love that book. So I think I'm gonna get rid of it, or maybe I can give it to my sister or somebody who I know will better like this book. But it just wasn't for me, so we're gonna unhaul this one. I am keeping the Dream Harbor series. We got Christmas Tree Farm, Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and then I think Strawberry Patch the Strawberry Patch Waffle. There's a summer one coming that I'm going to order and read. And like, I feel like people are divided on this series because they were really hyped up, especially the Pumpkin Spice Cafe was really hyped up in fall, like, oh, it's the perfect fall cozy romance. And then people read it and they were disappointed by the content. And I knew, like, maybe I just knew what I was getting into. Like, I'm not expecting a groundbreaking romance. I'm expecting vibes. And I got vibes. So I'm not mad. Like, as long as you know what this series is, I think there's nothing wrong with it. I just also like the aesthetic. They look good. Keeping it. Cemetery of Untold Stories, also keeping it because I really like that. I have 2 Ali Hazelwood. Bride, which is one of my favorite books. I just loved it. Love Theoretically is also really good. Holding on to those. Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Loved keeping. And then I got these 3 that I'm kind of divided on because I didn't love any of them, but I didn't hate any of them either. We have The Love of My Afterlife, My Roommate is a Vampire, and Love in the Time of Serial Killers. And I feel like they all just slightly under-delivered what I was expecting. Like, My Roommate is a Vampire, cool, chill, vibes. I read it in September or October. Perfectly fine. And then, not to spoil too much, but slight spoiler, in the end there is a conflict which is resolved through the power of TikTok, and it kind of just lost me. Like, I didn't love that. The Love of My Afterlife I thought was good, but it was a little bit predictable, and honestly the main character was kind of cringy to the point where it was hard to keep reading. So maybe unhaul. And then Love in the Time of Serial Killers just definitely under-delivered on what the premise was supposed to be. Girl moves into her father's old house after he passes away, and then she's convinced that her neighbor is a serial killer. Y'all, that's 0.25% of the plot. And then we've moved past it. So it was really disappointing. I'm going to put these on the pile. I'm going to think about it later. I'm going to think about it. And look at all of that extra space I now have. Okay, let's go on to the second shelf. Okay, here we are at the second shelf. I don't like these bookshelves at all because they're too deep. I can stack books in front of each other, but we are planning to move later this year, and so I don't want to invest in bookshelves if they're not going to work in the new space, yada yada. That's my excuse, my reasoning. This was just borrowed from upstairs because all of my books were Okay, anyway, second shelf. Let's go through it. Circe, Keep, Mother Thing, Keep. Love these. Such sharp teeth. And honestly, all of these are keeps. This one I'm a little bit like. Raiders of the Lost Heart. Again, there's so many of those like mid books where it's like the writing is good, like everything about it is good, but it wasn't specifically for me. Like I didn't love it. And that feels like such a crappy reason to get rid of a book, but also it feels like a crappy reason to keep a book. But I do like the summery vibes. So I'm going to hold on to it for now. The Cartographers, The Perfect Marriage, Home is Where the Bodies Are. Love and Olives I'm going to get rid of because it was just a little bit too YA for me, and there's still a lot of YA books that I really do enjoy and really like and resonate with. However, as I'm approaching 30, I'm just a little bit like, some books just are too young for me. Like, it was just written for a younger audience. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but it just wasn't for me. So I'm going to unhaul this. Everyone in my family has killed someone. Everyone on this train is a suspect. And Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret by Benjamin Stevenson. I will read anything that this man likes. Those are staying. Controversial time. The Powerless series, or what I have of it so far, I'm going to be unhauling because I will not be continuing this series. I was like, everyone was like, oh, this is the best enemies to lovers, it's Hunger Games, etc. And then I read it and it was a whole lot of nothing. And I'm tired of talking about it because I don't like to be mean, and I can value that this book is somebody's favorite and that's a lot of people really like it, but for me it was repetitive, it was unoriginal, it felt like it was AI written. Like, I didn't love it, but I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. I read Powerful, which, don't get me started on this novella. This is about a character from this book that we barely got to know in this book, and then there's a whole novella about her. Like, I didn't care. I don't care about you. I didn't know you. And then I was like, all right, because I am a book reviewer, I was like, let me read the second one. And I tabbed, all of these tabs are spelling errors and grammar mistakes. Ooh, there were so many. And this was clearly just a filler book. Like, we chased each other through the desert for almost 400 pages. You could not pay me to care. And I'm not going to be continuing the series. So I'm going to unhaul those because I'm tired of having them on my bookshelf. How My Neighbor Stole Christmas is a little Christmas one. Gone. I hate this book so much. First of all, way too long for a Christmas book. Way too long. We couldn't get to the point, even if we tried. And even so, you know, I could appreciate it for what it was, but there's 2 epilogues. Absolutely ruined this entire book for me. I hated it so much. I'm not going to spoil it, but hated it. I did not have a good time. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wrapped with a Bow, I think I'm going to hold on to because I just like to have the Christmas books on my shelf. Done and Dusted, I'm not sure. Look, I've tabbed so much of it. This was really my annotating phase, which I've fallen in and out of. But I don't mind a cowboy romance. I guess this is the only cowboy romance I've read. I don't mind it. Brother's Best Friend is not for me. And that reaction alone like almost completely ruined the book. And I have no intention of reading the rest of this series. But it's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. So I think I'm going to keep it. We Met in December by Rosie Curtis I read it as like a Christmas book, but it spans like an entire year. So there's summer, spring, fall, all the seasons. Such a cute love story. I love this book so much. Camp Zero and Bright Young Women I am both keeping. I really appreciated these stories. Okay, I have this quick little pile that piled up. A Hue of Blue I'm going to keep because it makes me cry. It was such a good book. And then Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, which you can see my little bookmark. I didn't get very far, but I'm not giving up. I want to read it one day. And then I have Harry Potter 1 and 2 because I thought I was going to get into the Harry Potter books. It took me like 2 years to read the first one. Wasn't really vibing. And the second one, like, I just no longer cared. The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan is a book in which series? I thrifted this and I'm not gonna read it. I was a Percy Jackson girl, And I don't think that this is the same, is it? Like in the same universe, I would assume, but anyway, I'm not going to read it. You've Reached Sam was really good, really sad, but again, I think just a little bit too YA for me. It's not something I'm going to reach for again. Unhaul that. Anya's Ghost, again, was something I thrifted because it was kind of like a graphic novel, but I don't think I have any intention of reading this, unfortunately. Braiding Sweetgrass, I did buy and read, but I'm not going to reread it, so I'm not going to keep it on my shelf. The 9 Lives of Rose Napolitano, keep. I loved this book. Bad Summer People, I didn't like. This was another instance of like the synopsis overpromised and then the book underdelivered. I read it within a day because it was so short, but I just didn't like anything about this book. It was a bunch of snobby rich people vacationing on a beach. Everybody treats each other like garbage. Everybody sleeping with each other's spouse. Like, it just wasn't, it didn't bring me any joy. Throne of the Fallen, easy, get rid of. I DNF'd this page. I DNF'd this book at like page 400, and there's only like 550. So I was almost done, and I was just like, honestly, I can't do it anymore. And like, I really thought from the synopsis that I was going to love this book because it's about like the 7 deadly sins, an adventure through the underworld, like really compelling plot. But then personally, it was just too crass and, how do I say this without being censored? Like, a lot of unnecessary schmexual content, I found. It didn't serve the plot, and it just kind of made me feel icky. Like, 2 people were going at it while they were just like conversing with a third person. Like, it was just, did that serve the plot? No. And I grew really tired of it, so I DNF'd it. I don't care how it ends. I don't care about the rest of the series. Sorry. Easy unhaul. I have the Hunger Games set, which I'm keeping. So excited for the next one. My Dark Romeo, easy unhaul. I hated every second of this book. It was written by 2 women, which I find very hard to believe because it seems like they actually hate women. I cannot believe the audacity. I didn't like this book at all. Earl's Trip, it was my like first and only foray into like historical romance fiction. Not for me. There was nothing wrong with it. It was well written. It just, the subject, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. This Summer Will Be Different, Meet Me at the Lake, Carly Fortune, My Canadian Queen. I'm going to keep those. All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers, keep. Throne of Glass, I'm going to get rid of because I do have the entire series. Don't need that one. Never Whistle at Night. This one is a good Indigenous dark fiction anthology. Really good. What else do I have? I have Annihilation and Authority. I read Annihilation. I didn't read the second one, though. So I might revisit it. They should be in the correct order. There we go. And then I got 2, well, again, another book that I thrifted because I love Maggie Stiefvater, but this is like the 2nd or the 3rd book in the series. So, and I haven't bought the other ones by now. I'm probably not going to buy this one, but it's in such good shape. Yeah, it's the stunning sequel to Lament. Well, now I'm like, should I read it? I don't know. Well, okay, it's going back on the shelf for now. Pillow Thoughts. My gosh, that keeps scaring me. Pillow Thoughts is a book of poems. I'm not really going to keep it or reread it. And I think I'm going to get rid of You because I really liked the show when I bought this, but I don't really have any intention of reading it, unfortunately. That's where we are. I have one more bookshelf. Let's look at this, guys. That's not bad. That's not bad. And already there's so much extra space on my bookshelf. Then I have this little like narrow bookshelf that I have in my bedroom where I keep like my favorite books, or like I kind of rotate like, yeah, my favorite books, let's be real. So there's not a lot I'm going to get rid of here, but I have some questions. So I just got the special annotated version of Archer's Voice, which is one of my favorite romance books ever. It's so cute, hardcover, annotated by the author, which is really cute. But I also I had this version, and I'm like, do I get rid of this one? Like, I got it at HomeSense, so it's a little bit not in the most perfect shape, But I'm like, should I keep both? Like, what if I want to borrow one out? Then I will borrow this one. Or like, I don't know. I kind of don't want to get rid of it. I kind of want to keep both. Maybe I'll put the older copy like on that shelf. But let me know in the comments if you have like more than one book, like of the same book, if you have like special editions, or like what you do in that situation, because I'm not really sure what to do. I've never really bought a special edition of a book before, so I'm unsure. Second shelf, we have Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm. I have my little Tarn stuffy. I have Book of Night by Holly Black, which I really liked. I'm waiting for the sequel, which is coming at the end of 2025, well, September of 2025. And then I have the Lightlark series, which I think I'm going to get rid of because I have decided after 3 books to not continue with it, because it's slightly better than Powerless, but I still feel like it's a whole lot of nothing. It's messy, there's really no original thoughts, and it just feels like a whole lot of nothing. So I think I'm going to get rid of them because I'm not going to continue the series. So I don't want to have like an unfinished series on my shelf. And then I have A Study in Drowning, which I loved, so that's staying. I really think that's it. The next one here, I got my Cruel Prince series, One Dark Window, Emily Wilde, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Those are all staying. And then down below, I have junk. Don't look at it. I think that's it, guys. How many books is that? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 books. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is it for my book unhaul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, and make sure you subscribe and all of that wonderful stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.